Hey guys, next topic, wanted to talk about modifications for the Boxster and 996 911. Um, I see many people talk about modifications for these cars. They get excited about it. Me personally, I strongly discourage people from putting modifications on their 911 in regards to the engine performance of the car. The reason why I say that is these cars, the engines were really not designed well. I mean, it's a 3.4 and a 3.6 liter, 296 horsepower and 320 horsepower respectively. Not that impressive from that kind of displacement. And I think it's kind of evident as well that these cars don't respond to modifications well at all. I really do feel like this car is very comparable to the BMW E36 with the S50 and the S52 M3 United States domestic market cars. Those are the ones that are, they basically, they're just a stroked version of, the 2.8 and 2.5 liter, non M3 engines. Those cars, they didn't respond well to modifications at all. You're literally spending thousands and thousands of dollars to just get, 15 to 25 horsepower out of it. It's just not worth it. In my opinion, as old as these cars are, I would use the money to either set aside in a fund for a full engine rebuild or use it to update the car as far as the suspension and the driving experience. Now, I'm a big fan of if you own these cars, the Fister D mod exhaust modification. I highly recommend that on the OEM exhaust. It gives it a much better sound. It's the sound that the car should have come from the factory with. And once you do that, I think it's only a few $100 to get that done, and most muffler shops should be able to do it. There's videos on that and documentation on how to do that. What I would say is like suspension, refresh the suspension. I'm a big fan of the shifter modifications. Going with a 997 upgrade. Just anything that you can modify to make the driving experience more customized to your liking. But I'm not a fan of the engine modifications. You're just literally throwing on parts that money could be better used for other things. I know that a lot of these manufacturers claim 26 wheel horsepower for this and 13 wheel horsepower from that and another 7 horsepower from that. Most people try to add those numbers up and think that that's what they're getting. It's not the case. You might be able to get, from an exhaust and a tune, you can get like 20, 23, 24 horsepower, but when you start combining parts, it's not like you're going to start getting into the 50, 60, 70 horsepower range. It's really throwing money at something that really is just for looks. It's not making the car, more reliable or really faster. And honestly, with this car, it's already comes from with close to 300 horsepower. A 15, 20 horsepower increase, you're really not going to feel it. I mean, just talk to the people with the 991s, the 350 horsepower versus the 400 horsepower. Most people were saying that they couldn't even tell the difference between those two cars. When you start getting up into 300 horsepower, the number of horsepower increase has to be much more significant. So I just wanted to give my take on that. Hopefully save some people some money and actually use that money into things that the car needs. Just suspension for maintenance is something that I highly recommend. But definitely the shocks, the control arms, and things like that are going to need to be replaced in these. I would highly suggest doing that because you will feel that difference. The engine modifications, not much at all. It might be in your mind, but that's about it. So just thought I'd share that little tidbit with you guys. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.